right, guys, I'm going to work with you on tomorrow's yesterdays. We're going to do 41 to the end, and we're going to do them all together so that I can kind of show you how these parts line up, because there's not a ton of parts going on, but they kind of move differently. So we're going to do 4 measures. We're in 4 measure phrases, so we breathe after 4 measures, okay? We've got our melody going on 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2. We're in a slow 3/4. Our tempo is actually not very fast at all. It's right here. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 2. Alright, so let's look at some notes real quick. In our flute line, we've got F, F, E natural. Now our key signature doesn't say that we'd have E natural because we're in concert E flat, so you've got to watch these accidentals. F, F, E, D, E, C, F, F, E, D. This is going to be an E natural in measure 43 on the and of 4 because it carries all the way through the bar line. So I'm going to get my handy dandy pencil out here and I'm going to put a natural sound so I don't forget that. And then I've got C, G, G, and we're stopping at the end of 44 right now. So looking at the clarinet part, G, G, F sharp, E, F sharp, D, G, G, F sharp, E, oh, that's going to be an F sharp also. I'm going to mark that so I don't forget. D, G, G, all right. We're going to skip down here to the, we're going to go to the next page actually, to the trumpet part so that you guys can see how this lines up. So at 41, the trumpets are also playing G, G. Some of the trumpets have an F sharp, some of them have an E. It just depends on which part you have. And then we've got E, F sharp, D. Now looking here, some of the trumpets have G, G, F sharp, E, F sharp. Some of the trumpets have E, E, D, E, F sharp. Just remember that the and of 3 here is an F sharp. So we've got to mark that so we don't forget. And then some have D, A, A, and some have D, D, D. All right? So, and the bells, you have the same as the flutes. F, F, E natural, watch those naturals. And then in measure 43, if you look at it, the and is a natural. So you want to make sure that you play that as an E natural, not an E flat right here. Okay? So I'm going to play through these parts so you can hear them real quick. I'm going to start with the trumpet 1 because it is almost identical to the first clarinet part. Yes. So I'm going to play trumpet 1. And it sounds like this. And the clarinet part, the first clarinet part, sounds like this. The only thing different is the last note. And we'll work on getting those accents in there, okay? All right, so if you look at the second trumpet part, it is slightly different. Listening. All right, and then the flute and bells are the same rhythm, just obviously a little bit higher, okay? All right, so then we're going to look at the second clarinet part. The second clarinet part, the tenor sax part, and the horn part are all kind of meshing together with the low brass part. So we're going to kind of take this apart for a second. This is the second clarinet line right here. So we've got 1 and 2, 3 and 1, 2, 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2. You notice that that's a B natural. The half note's also a B natural. It goes all the way through the bar line. So I'm going to mark that so I don't forget. So I don't forget that that's also a B natural. Okay? And now looking down here, you're going to notice that the horn part is kind of like that second clarinet part, but it's also kind of like the alto sax part. So we're going to go through and play these independently real quick. So look at that clarinet 2 part. All right, so we counting that. Now we're going to look at this tenor sax part here. The tenor sax and the French horn parts are almost identical. And the only difference between the alto sax and the tenor sax part is this measure right here. 1 and 2. They're playing with the flutes, oboes, and clarinets, okay? So I'm going to play the tenor sax part. Pay attention to this second measure, measure 42. 1, 2, and 3, and 1. We're going up the scale, and there's an accidental. You notice it's in all the parts right here that have this rhythm, including the French horn part. So we're going to play measures 41 to 44. I'm playing the tenor sax line. Here we go. And it, except I played the wrong note. Ready, and it. So again, that's the tenor sax, French horn. Some of the alto part in there is. So the last section, or the last part that I want to make sure that I count out for you here, is the bass clarinet part. This is the bass clarinet line. You're going to notice that the bass clarinet is just like the trombone, baritone, tuba part here, okay? You've got rest. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's just those 4 measures, all right? Be really careful. No accidentals to really worry about right here in this section. It's all C's and F's. So I'm going to play that section for you. This is bass clarinet, trombone, baritone, tuba. You've got. And there's a crescendo there in measure 44 for the whole band. Everybody's going to get louder. So you've got to start soft in order to get louder. If you start too loud, we won't have anywhere to go. All right, so now we're going to look ahead a little bit to measure 45. In 45, we've got that decrescendo. We're in a big forte, we've got a decrescendo. Flutes have 1 and 2, along with the trumpets, the alto saxophones. They all have this 1 and 2 in measure 45. So, going to scoot on down. Nope, I'm going to stay right there. Look at this trumpet part. Some of you have A's and some of you have E's going to a D. It's either or. Everybody else has a dotted half note. Be real careful. There's an E natural in measure 45. Trombones, baritone, and make sure that we mark that so that we play it second position, second valve. I'm going to mark mine so we don't forget. All right, so that is measure 45. Clarinets, you've got the same part as the tenor, so we've got A, E, D in the first clarinet part, right there at 45, okay? All right, so we're scooting on over. We're going to go 46 to the end. These are the last few measures of this song. So flute and alto saxophone have the 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 melody right there, where the clarinets have the quarter notes along with the horn. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you notice we're getting softer and softer. And then the trumpets are going to take the end, and then we'll land together. So I'm going to play some of these parts for you real quick. So the flute part is going to be like this. And then you're going to rest, and then the last note. All right, so that is the flute saxophone part there. Now the clarinet part, first clarinet. Getting quieter each time. Then if you look at the second clarinet part, be careful. It tells you that's a B flat, so you know that's first finger. If you need to mark it, mark it. This one is also a B flat. It's not marked because you're supposed to remember your key signature. But if you might forget it, go ahead and put your little flat sign. If you need to, put a 1 so you don't forget that it's first finger. Same thing for this bass clarinet part. These are all B flats. B flat, D, B flat. So I would go ahead and mark those bass clarinets in 46 and 48. Make sure we know that those are flats. Okay? And those are dotted half notes there. Then we're going to go look at the brass section here. So trumpets. That is the wrong stuff. Whoop. Here we go. Trumpets, you've got this really, really, really important melody part here. You've got the eighth notes. First, have this. This is in measure 46, where the seconds have. Okay? When we get here at 49, the only thing playing are these low notes in trombone, baritone, the dotted half notes, okay? Trombone, baritone, and horn. And then the trumpets. You're either playing or. So we're going to have some tension right there. It's going to be really, really close together notes. Let's see if I can show you what it's going to sound like on the piano real quick. Let's put it on trumpet here. So it's going to be D, E. So we've got. That dissonance where it doesn't sound very good, and then the release where it sounds better. So dissonance, wrong notes. There's your dissonance, and then the release. So trumpets, we've got to make sure that we know which part to play. And then down, of course, in percussions, we just have the really pretty triangles happening right here at the end. Okay, and these notes. Make sure trombones, baritones, that we don't forget. These are E naturals or E flats, and then the E naturals when they're marked. So E flat's in our key signature, and then 47 it's an E natural. 48 it's an E flat. We got to know which one's which. Remember, E flat's third and E natural's second. All right, so work on 41 to the end in tomorrow's yesterdays, guys. Have a good day.